Don't take life too seriously. Sometimes life is hard and scary. Sometimes it's painful. But not everybody has the luxury to philosophize. If you can, then you should consider yourself lucky. It's really hard to stop and think about, oh, what is the meaning of my life? Or um, is this the life I'm meant to be living? Or what is life? Or any of those types of questions. It's really it doesn't cross your mind frequently, generally speaking, when you're really just trying to make ends meet. You're worrying about your survival on a daily basis. You're worrying about your children's survival. So not everybody has the luxury to philosophize. So if you're somebody who has a roof over your head and you got most of your ends, your most of your needs met, then you may have some of the time to sit back and think a little bit and reflect and to try to understand and try to tinker with your beliefs and thoughts in a way that can be more optimal. If that's something that's true, my recommendation is don't take that for granted and consider yourself lucky. We're all philosophizers. We're all philosophers to some extent. Um, we all concoct our own meaning of life, and when we're brought up against things that are unexpected or foreign to us, we have to come up with some sort of understanding on the fly. Um, and I don't want to sound insensitive by any means when I say that we shouldn't take life too seriously, because it can feel very scary and serious for a lot of people. And again, a lot of these people don't have the opportunity to do philosophy. So, but what I'm trying to get at here is through doing philosophy, doing personal development and spiritual development, and through having growth and development, um, you can start to realize that life is only hard and scary because of beliefs we hold. Um, it's like, for instance, if you believe in the Christian religion, at least broadly speaking, I think that you may be somebody who believes that if you're a sinner and you don't, um, you know, fix that before you die or get forgiveness, then you're going to go to hell, right? So that's a belief. Now you can say that's true or it's not. That's not what I'm arguing for. But what I'm saying is, from your own perspective, if that's something that you believe, that's something that you believe with faith. It's not something that you can verify empirically. So you have this belief that you're going to go to hell if you do anything wrong, and you don't get forgiven before you die, something along those lines. So now this creates a lot of taking life very seriously. Now you're taking life very seriously because wait a minute, like the way that I behave, what I do, that's going to um, really, really make it be a big deal when I die. So this is very serious business. But whether that's true or not, what I'm trying to point out here is that um, you because of a belief that you hold, um, you're having a very hard time loosening up a little bit and taking life a little less seriously. Life has become serious and it's become scary and it's become hard because now you're afraid of going to hell, and it's become difficult to always be perfect and not sin. So if you get rid of this belief, then you won't, life will become less hard and less scary and a little less serious. But then there's so many other things, there's other beliefs. Um, but that goes really deep. There's not just religious beliefs about things like going to heaven or hell for the soul, and things like that. But even to have a soul is a belief, and even to consider yourself an ego that is uh, a self that was born and that someday is going to die. That seems really scary. That makes life seem a lot more serious because you have this belief called the ego. And because you believe that, um, life has become a lot more hard and a lot more scary, and it's become much more serious. But notice it's because of a belief that you hold. So life isn't inherently bad or scary or hard. That's what I'm trying to get at. And although there are a lot of people, you can't go and say that to them because they're lost in their beliefs. And yes, there's people who are in really hard physical conditions. Some are terrible. But there's a difference between feeling pain on a direct level, on a neurological level, and there's a difference between the suffering that is caused by the framing of that pain with different thoughts and beliefs. There's a difference there. So there's an extra suffering that doesn't need to happen. But anyway, these people, a lot of times, they can't really, they need to have, it's kind of like a flower blossoming. Like they're not in conditions to be able to blossom through their philosophy, or through their spiritual development, to be able to um, notice that a lot of their strife is caused by beliefs. Not all of it, but a lot of it, and that's unfortunate. That's why we strive for a society where people can flourish, and then we can have people who are actualizing, and they're contributing through their art or through their engineering, or whatever it is, whatever their expertise is. But because we realize that life is only hard and scary because of beliefs we hold, um, we realize that we are really like children pretending, who have gotten lost in their roles. Because like we'll take the role of this self, this ego, and or we'll take this role of this Christian or any kind of religious person. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just using that as an example. And I wasn't using that as a negative example, just to, but we take these roles and we pretend that they're true because none of it is ever founded in any kind of truth. Our whole worldview is constructed out of beliefs that are not inherently serious, but they, as a belief system, create a very serious narrative that we pretend is true and we play a role inside of, and then we get lost in the role. And then, even though this is all just kind of like children playing, we're pretending that it's serious. So I think the most difficult thing, when you hear something like this, is, if it's not something that you've heard before or anything like that, is Yeah, that sounds nice. That everything is just like play, and nothing really is seriously wrong. We're all just kind of pretending with our beliefs, and there's no, anything wrong is just a belief that we're pretending is true. But the thing is, it then you're like, okay, well, yeah, okay, well, great idea, but like, if I actually live like that, then all of my responsibilities will, I'm taking a big gamble. It's a big leap of faith that that's actually true, because if I start treating life less seriously and like, oh, all of these things I was afraid of, that's all made up, then well, what if that's not true, and then all the shit hits the fan, so to speak. Um, but the thing is that if you actually act like that's true, that's more pretending. You're already the show is running itself. So all I'm pointing towards is an acknowledgement of the show running itself, and you'll continue to play a character because that's all you can do. But the character is going to be one that's more self-aware, as being pretended to exist. It's someone who's being imagined, an imagined character. So yeah, don't take life too seriously. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, then hit the subscribe button. If you have anything you want to say, then comment down below. If you know anybody who might like this, then please share it. And if you want to get a notification every time I drop new content, hit the little bell button. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.